CPU organization. Our objective will be to understand the basics of arithmetic logic unit, combinational and arithmetic unit. Then we'll have a look at the Booth's algorithm for multiplication. Now, if you talk about a simple arithmetic logic unit, you can see on the right hand side we have a diagram of a arithmetic logic unit. This is a general view of an arithmetic logic unit, where you have a arithmetic unit here, you have a logic unit here, and depending on the instruction provided to the computer, either it will go for an arithmetic operation or it will go for a logical operation. So in this case we are showing a 4-bit arithmetic logic unit, where we have 4 x bits and 4 y bits. Both are connected parallel to the logical and arithmetic unit. Depending on the selection, either the logical unit gets selected or the arithmetic unit gets selected. And again, depending on the multiplexer at the output of the system, the output of the result of the arithmetic unit is either sent to the output of the multiplexer, or the output of the logical unit is sent to the output of the multiplexer system. It all depends on the selection, that is the S1, which selects both the buses, either F or the G at the output. So now let's look into a simple arithmetic unit, which we will call it addition subtraction. That means the arithmetic unit is capable of doing addition and subtraction, and it will be able to do the subtraction in 2's complement method. Now let's see how it works. Now there are 2 sections. We have y and we have x, and it is having a 4-bit parallel adder, and the output is given by f. And we have a m, which is actually the control, which selects whether the unit is going to go for addition or subtraction. Now let's go for addition. When we go for addition, m is usually 0. And now let's suppose the input at y input is 0010. That is 0010. In decimal it's 2. Now if m is 0, definitely the whatever be the input here will go as it is at the output of the exclusive OR. This is a controlled inverter. As you can see, if this is 0 and also this is 0, then 0 you will get a 0 here. Until and unless there is a difference at the input, you will not get a complement at the output. So the input, if it is 0 and the control input is 0, then output will be 0. Similarly, the other inputs, the input will be followed at the output. Similarly, here if we have 1, we'll get a 1 at the output. If it is 0, we'll get a 0 at the output. So there is no complementation. So what we will get at the output is the same as has been provided at the input. Now, similarly, if we have input at x, which is 0001, that means it's 1, and it has been provided to the other section of the 4-bit parallel adder, and m is 0 means C in is 0, that means the carry in from the previous bit is 0. So the inputs of the parallel adder is presently having 2 and 1, so result should be 3 at the output. So after the inputs are available at the parallel adder, the output will be 3, as evident from the diagram. Now let's move on to the subtraction. Now subtraction is basically carried out using 2's complement method. In this method, m will be 1. What we can see here is m is 1, and the input is same 0010, that is 2. So if this is 1 and this is 0, then the inverted output will be available here. So when m is 1, this is actually working as a controlled inverter, and it provides a 1's complement at the output of it. So that is complementation, and now it is 1 1. 0, 1. So now this will get added with the provided input at the x. So now x is having 0, 0, 0, 1, and now it will get added to this, and we will get 1110. So at the output we'll get 1110 plus 1, which is available here, which is nothing but 4 ones, that is 1, 1, 1, 1, and Cout will be 0. Now, if all the outputs are 1, that means this is nothing but minus 1. Obviously, we had an input 2, another input 1. So, if we subtract 2 from 1, we will get minus 1. So, what we are getting here is all 1 means the most significant bit. This is actually is in the 2's complement form of the negative number. So if we again give a 2's complement to this, we'll get the magnitude which is given here. But if you can look here, it is 8421 is actually the weighted codes, but in 2's complement form, this is minus 8. So minus 8 plus 7 will give you minus 1. So this is the 2's complement representation of minus 1. And if we give a 2's complement to this, we'll get a 1. The magnitude will be 1. So this is how a 2's complement adder or subtractor unit works. And now let's move on to the next section of this, where we are going to discuss about Booth's multiplication, Booth's algorithm for multiplication. Now multiplication is very important. In this case, Booth's algorithm gives a benefit where we can preserve the sign using arithmetic shifts, and using arithmetic shifts we can actually properly multiply the binary numbers with lesser number of operations. Now let's see how it happens. We'll take a simple example. But before we take the example, we need to understand the basic flow in Booth's algorithm. Now, in Booth's algorithm, let us consider M to be a multiplicand register, Q to be a multiplier register. A register holds the result. Initially, it is empty. We can call this accumulator also. N is the number of bit counts, and if it is 4-bit multiplication, then the n count will be 4. And Q minus 1 here represents the previous bit of the multiplier register. Now, the first step should be to inspect the previous bit and the least significant bit of the multiplier register, and based on the values of the binary values of that, we will go on with the flow chart. Now suppose if it is 0, 0, now we have to check this. Now if it is 0, 0 or 1, 1, nothing is done. In this case, here no shifting here means nothing is done, but we'll have to go for an arithmetic shift. Now here no shifting means you don't have to go for any operation. We just have to go for an arithmetic shift. This is the arithmetic shift. And after that, check whether the bit count is 0 or not. If it is not 0, then carry on. Now, if it is 0, 1 or if it is 1, 0, what we have to do is, here if it is 0, 1, then we have to go for the addition of the multiplicand register content with the accumulator content, and that will be saved in accumulator itself. Now, if it is 1, 0, then what we have to do is we have to subtract the content of M, that is the multiplicand register, from the accumulator, and will be reflected in accumulator itself. Now every time we go for this, we will have to go for a arithmetic shift right. Now arithmetic shift right means we have to somehow preserve the sign. So if the most significant bit is 1 after any operation, we will have to preserve that and then go for the shifting. I will show that in an example. Now, after that, again, you will have to see whether the bit count is 0 or not. If it is 0, then stop. The result is in A and Q in these two registers. If it is still not 0, if the n count is still not 0, then continue the corresponding operation. Now let's move on and see the Booth's multiplication with an example. Now let us see that an M register is presently having 7. This is -7. This is the 2's complement representation of -7. Why? Because the most significant bit weightage is -8 and this one is 1. So -8 plus 1 is -7. So 1001 in 2's complement is nothing but -7's representation. Now Q we have 3 and assuming that N is 4 because here there are 4 bits. Now let's see how it is going to be carried out. The multiplicand M minus 7 is represented in 2's complement method, what we have already discussed. And now let's see what is the initial status of the bits. Here the M is 1001, accumulator is quad 0, multiplier is 0011. Here the accumulator is initially taken to be 0. Now the previous bit is 0. This is the initial condition. Now let us take the example. Here we will go for the inspection. Now the first thing what we will do is we will go for Q minus 1. Here we have the bit 0 and Q0. Here the most least significant bit is 1. So the combination is 1 0. So after inspecting the 2 bits, we have to decide what to do. So after the inspection, what we have seen it, we have to go for an operation which is A minus M. Please refer to the flowchart which I have shown you in the earlier slides. Now, before we go for the subtraction, the initial inspection reveals it is 1 0. So we need to go for an operation which is A minus M. And before we go for this, the N count is 4. So if we go for A minus M, that is here M is 1001 and this is, it was previously 000. So after performing this operation, what we'll get is 0111. And after that, we'll have to go for an arithmetic shift right. So how will you do the arithmetic shift right? Just look into A and Q. Here, we will keep this as it is and then shift it here. Then 1 will be here. Then this 1 will be here. This 1 will be pushed here. Similarly, this will be pushed here. This will be pushed here. And this 1 will be here. And this 1 will go to the Q minus 1 section. So when we do the arithmetic shift right, we are shifting the bits on the right hand side but keeping the most significant bit as it is. We will not change this. If it is 0, it will remain 0. If it is 1, it will remain 1. This means we are trying to preserve the sign during the operation. Okay, so this is the end of cycle 1. So when we do the shifting, we go for a decrement and the N bit. And now this becomes 3. So this is the end of the first cycle. Let's move on to the second cycle. Now in the second cycle, we have to go for the inspection. So when we inspect the bits, we see it is 1 1. So during 1 1, we don't have to go for any operation. We just have to go for arithmetic shift. So in this case, we are going for arithmetic shift. Here again, the previous bit pattern was this. 0 will remain here, then it will be pushed on the right side. So what we get is 0001 and 1100 and this one will be shifted here. So now since we have completed another operation, we will decrement the N bit count and now this becomes 2. Now this is the end of the cycle 2. Now let's see the third cycle. Now again we have to inspect the Q minus 1 and Q. So here we get 01. Here 01 means it has to go for A plus M. So the content of M was this, content of A was this. So after adding this two, what we get is 1010 and 1100 was previously here. So this has changed. Now since after this operation, we'll have to go for arithmetic shift right. Now here you see after addition, it has changed to 1010. That means 1 is available in the most significant bit. This is preserved as it is and then the 1 is shifted. like this. So what we get is 1101, 0110, this is 0, and after decrementing the n, what we have 1, so this is the end of the third cycle. Similarly, we go for the fourth cycle. Here in the fourth cycle, we have to check the previous bit as well as this. So previous bit was 0 and Q0 bit is 0. So again it's 0, 0. So you don't have to go for any operation except arithmetic shift right. So we will go for a arithmetic shift right. Here again I am preserving this 1 and again shifting towards right. So what we get, this is the final result as now n count has gone to 0. So at the end of the cycle, the final result is accumulator is 1110, 1011, and this is 0. So minus 7 into 3 is 21. So what we can see is the accumulator content and the multiplier content is, if we see the weightage like this, it is minus 128, which is 1. So it is 1. So if we add 64, 32, 1, 2, and 1, and subtract it by, add it with minus 128, what we'll get is minus 21. So the result is minus 21. So using Booth's algorithm for multiplication, we can go for a signed multiplication. So this is all about today's lecture. In this lecture, we have actually seen the basics of arithmetic logic unit, where we have seen our logical unit, which is having 2's complement adder subtractor unit. We have seen the Booth's algorithm flowchart. We have seen the method of Booth's multiplication using a simple example. Hope you have understood the basic concepts in CPU organization. Thank you very much for watching this video.